Determine the left-sided limit and the right-sided limit and the two-sided limit as x approaches 0 of 1 over x squared minus 3x. Each of these involves the limit as x approaches 0 of 1 over x squared minus 3x. First thing to do is try plugging a 0 in for each of the x's. That will give 1 over 0 squared minus 3 times 0, which is 1 over 0 squared is a 0 minus 3 times 0 is a 0, giving 1 over 0. The 0 in the denominator is not actually 0 since x is only approaching a 0, but the limit result of a non-zero number over 0 is positive infinity or negative infinity. The sign of the infinity often depends on the side the limit approaches from, so we will have to work out each of the one-sided limits separately. We have the limit as x approaches 0 from the left side, indicated by the negative superscript on the 0. And the limit as x approaches 0 from the right side, indicated by the positive superscript on the 0. Let's start with the left-sided limit. Before analyzing the limit, we will want to factor in the denominator so that we can see the factor that's making the 0 in the denominator. Let's factor an x out. There's a common factor of x. And it turns out it is the x that's making a 0 in the denominator as x approaches 0. Here x is approaching 0 from the left side. The left side of 0 is a negative number that's close to 0, like negative 0.01. If we plug that in for x, it will be a negative number. Now it limits to 0, so it will have a value very close to 0, but it will be negative. We can then plug 0 for all remaining x's, and that will give 1 over a negative 0 times 0 minus 3, which is a negative 3. And that will give 1 over a negative times a negative is positive. 0 times 3 is a 0. And we have a positive 1 over a positive 0. Positive over positive is positive. Non-zero over 0 is an infinity, and the result of that limit is a positive infinity. We can now work out, using a similar process, for the right-sided limit. Back to the denominator, so the factor that makes the 0 can be seen. This time we're on the right side of 0, which is a positive number. It will go on as a positive 0. It never actually reaches 0. It's a small positive number. This will give 1 over a positive 0 times a negative 3. The numerator is a positive 1. The denominator will be a positive times negative, which is negative 0. A positive over a negative is a negative. A non-zero over a 0 is an infinity. And there's the results of the left-sided and right-sided limits. The two-sided limit depends on how the two one-sided limits compare to each other. They're different. Therefore, the two-sided limit up here will be does not exist. And there's the results of the three different limits.